Hi, my name is Dennis Ryan. This is my story. This is my story about challenges with family, friends, belief systems, um, um, mental illness. I just watched a great documentary last night, Demi Lovato, Simply Complicated. It was a beautiful story. It really inspired me and inspired me to make this video because I went through a lot of the same challenges that Demi went through. Her music has helped me out a lot. Um, I was able to sing a karaoke, a skyscraper, because it really built me up and uh, made me realize that there's more to life, than just sitting behind a desk and doing my job. And I didn't do much of that for a long time. I've loved my job, worked for ADP, awesome company. I plan to go back there end of July, I believe. I got to check that out. Went to a therapy session today. I'm in an outpatient program due to several psychiatric visits to hospitals, and um, wanted to kind of just tell you what has happened to me um, on some levels, just because I realize family and friends are the most important thing to have in this world, and without family and friends, you're nothing. Um, so I'm 36 years old. Um, Last September, I had an idea for. Well, let's not even go there. Probably should start earlier. I grew up in an awesome family. I'm the oldest of 10 kids. Denny, Christina, Timmy, Melissa, Mary, Andy, Jonathan, Peter, Becky, Matthew, and Gizmo, our pet dog. Awesome, loving family. It's amazing, and I'm so blessed. Um, um, I did grow up in a very close knit community, um, which kind of cut me off from other people. And there was a lot of rules in there. One of them being that rock music was evil, and you'd get kicked out of school if you listened to rock, even if it was Christian rock. But they were doing their best that they could do at the time, and they were trying to go through their own struggles of growing up as kids and being picked on and whatnot, and they were trying to give their kids a better life, and I appreciate that so much. No idea how much I love my family, but there was complications there. So after I graduated school, I moved out with two friends and went through some trauma. I was jumped by a guy. I was in the wrong neighborhood, wrong time. Broken jaw, broken nose, and that kind of scared me, and it scared me for a long time. And I didn't realize I had PTSD trauma from that. So I isolated myself for a long time, and that was one of my biggest issues. I started smoking weed, um, constantly every day, multiple times a day. That was just great. It was my outlet. Then I was drinking. Then I started doing coke. Then I started doing Roxy's, blue pills, painkillers, um, like oxycodone. But I was abusing it. I was snorting it. I was just trying to get high, trying to chase a high constantly. And um, for a long time, that's what I did. You know, I had a grandfather that passed. Loved my grandfather. Talked to him, Papa, um, Gerald Ryan, and he was great. I loved to go over there. He'd tell me stories about World War II, and being an innovator, an American ingenuity. He created this windmill washing machine that people would line up to use because he just said, "Hey, the wind's blowing. Bring your own soap and you can use it." And it was a great idea. He's such a smart guy. I worked for RCA, for his whole life, and did awesome. Made it. Irish background. Um, you know, I believe his parents came to America, and had a great life. And he had 7 kids of his own, one of them being my father. And my father's a strong Christian man, strong man of God, and I didn't realize how blessed I was to have him. There were, not spankings and whatnot, which is not something I agree with, but that's how it was done at that time. Belts and whatnot, but so that kind of made me terrified. But I broke free, and I kind of didn't want I didn't want to do anything with religion anymore, because of what I was put through there, and I just didn't believe in that stuff anymore. So I became an atheist for a long time, believing in science, loving science, tech guy, big tech guy. Went to Chubb Institute, got a quick degree there, piece of paper, and I got my job at ADP, and I've been working there, working real hard, and it's been awesome. It's such great opportunities, met so many awesome people there, but all this time, I was abusing, and I mean, I stopped a long time ago. Any hard drugs after losing my papa and getting into alcohol, drinking bottle of Jack a week, and I almost OD'd on Xanax and whatnot. My arm was like paralyzed. I couldn't even lift my arm. Um, I don't know. It did something to my brain. I couldn't even remember how to lift my arm, and I realized, shit, I need to stop this. So I stopped. Got away from all those hard drugs. But I continued to drink, and I continued to smoke marijuana. Um, and to get over my anxiety, social anxiety, I isolated myself for a long time, and only been with a couple girls in my life, and my last relationship, we'll call it, it was only like 3 months, but my heart was broken because I fell in love way too quickly, and that's my problem. I fall for people way too quickly, and my heart was really broken, and it was my fault. I was insecure. I was, drinking, and I know she saw a bad side of me, and it's a side that I'm over with, and I needed to go through that, and I needed to not be codependent on someone else. I needed to be able to do my life solo and be okay with that. So I was just scared to get into any relationships, and that brought me to recently, where you know I was smoking the vape pens, and I'm not against a hit or a sip, to get your mind at ease. There's nothing. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I abused it, and for I forget, like almost a week, I literally, smoked this vape pen, smoked it, and had an idea for a company. So I started building it out, working real hard to build it out, building it out. Isolated myself, turned my phone off, and then I invited my family over to my house. I did some manic things. Texted them at 6 in the morning, told them, "Hey guys, come over to my house. We're gonna, change the world, with this idea." And they didn't know I was in a psychotic episode at that point. I had no idea. No one was around to tell me that. So when they came in, they just heard me talking fast, like really fast. They couldn't understand what I was saying. I knew what I was saying. I think maybe not. I have no idea. It's pretty much a blur. And then I did some things that I was off color, and that ended up with my dad at my house, concerned for me, and I kept asking him, "What have I done not to trust you, that not to give me the trust?" And he told me, you know, in my, he told me, you know, I can't even remember what he told me, but I told him to leave my apartment because this is my business. I'm doing it, and he had a lie of omission. That's the truth. He didn't tell me that he thought I was delusional or in a psychosis, um, but I was, and I wish I had heard that at the time. So um, I went into the hospital, got locked up, and they shut the doors on me for 24 hours. There were, to just I said I no I said I'll go for a free eval to show you I was okay. I'll show you I was okay, and I was able to switch to being calm and then manic, and um, I went in there and they said I thought it was going to be a quick thing. I've never been through that, so I thought I was going to be in and out. Well, they shut the lights off of me at 2 in the morning, and I freaked out. There were, laser beams to make sure I didn't, sneak through the grates and stuff. And called my dad in the morning, and I broke down crying. I was crying all night. First time I cried in a long time. I don't even remember crying, much, other than a couple times in my life. And woke up in the morning. I actually didn't wake up, just cried all night, and called my dad. And I said, "Dad, come see me. I know we can fix this. There's a misunderstanding. There's something going on." And he said no. He said he wouldn't come. That broke me. Really broke me. So I went in the corner and I was crying, just crying my eyes out. By the time the doctor came in, I thought I was going to be able to talk to the doctor. They opened the door, they saw me crying, and they said, "Yep, he needs to be locked up." So I got locked up for being diagnosed bipolar. And I didn't understand it. Didn't understand it. I knew there was, you know, I don't know. Again, this is the manic going from one side to another. Um, so I met some great people in there. The first few days, I was really hating my father, hating, what had happened to me, not understanding that he saw there was something going on with me, and I didn't see it. So I met some great people in there, and I just started saying hello to people. I said I needed friends at that point, because I couldn't trust my family, couldn't trust my father. And I had a good time after that, you know? And then not a good. I mean, good time is good of a time you can have when in a psych ward. So, um, but I got out. Then I did some other manic things. I rented a Tesla. I crashed it. Um, you know, ended up with the cops. I was out for I don't know a day, and the cops surrounded me, and it freaked me out. And I said, "Oh my God, they're here again!" And they brought me in again and locked me up, even though I was just trying to do my own thing and not understanding. Again, I was manic at the time. So I got locked up again. Another week. I was like, oh my gosh. This time I went to a great place. It was really good place. Met other people in there. That was cool. Hearing their stories, understanding that hearing, whoa, okay, maybe I'm not as different as some of these other people in here, and went through it and got out. Um, Trying to remember even what happened after that. Again, a lot of this last 9 months have been a blur. But I ended up in a third hospital, I believe, at that point. I think. Um, then I got out. I did. I don't know. I don't even want to think what happened there. But then I you know, brings me to, taking some time off from work and graciously, I have a job that gave me benefits, and great boss that said, do your thing, you need to focus on yourself right now. And I went to Philadelphia, and Philadelphia is where I had a lot of fun. I went to go see the Liberty Bell, where the Declaration of Independence was um, signed. And the first day I got there, I parked. You know, I parked. I didn't look at the sign, didn't read the sign correctly, and parked in a tow zone. So came back, and my car was gone. So I had to walk like 4 miles to get it out of the impound. Got it out of the impound. Then I went, parked it somewhere else. I was so tired, so tired. I went and I just found a place to park, and came back in the morning, and my car was gone. I freaked out, and I was having an anxiety attack. And I sat down in the park. Calmed myself. Saw some nature. It was really beautiful. The squirrels running, the birds flying. I was like, you know what? I need to not stress about this. I went and checked all the places I could have parked for hours and hours, could not find it. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to get a hotel room, find it tomorrow. Went and had an awesome time in Philly. Met some great, awesome people. And I was like, wow, you know what? I don't need to stress about my car right now. Let me stay in Philly for a little longer. Okay? Told my family my car was stolen, and they were all concerned. They're like, "Oh, he's in Philly, and without a car, what's he doing?" Obviously concerned for that, but I wasn't at the time because I was having fun. I was meeting people, and people were liking me, and I always had social anxiety. I was only going to be in Philly for a day, but I ended up being there for a couple of weeks. And then I did another manic thing, and I don't want to get into that, but um, um, I met some awesome people, had a great time, but I got locked in a hospital in Philly, and you know, parents, he's in the hospital again. He's in the hospital. Obviously, they're concerned. I got out of the hospital. I had to get a rental car. I ended up crashing the rental car. Just not, I mean, not crashing it, just scraping it. But, it was like all this shit was happening to me. All this shit was happening to me. But I used the rental car to get back to New Jersey. And some other things happened to me, and bottom line is I ended up in another institution just recently, and I that was probably the best one for me because I realized what the frick is going on. I can't let this happen anymore, and after my 3 tries at my outpatient center. Um, High focus outpatient center. It's a great place. They give you the tools to use, meditation, breathing, coping skills, and whatnot. And um, um, it was rough getting locked up in a hospital again when I had all these tools that I acquired and um, didn't have them in the hospital. It was like I was just alone. But then I got sent for a couple days, just for 2 days, while they were diagnosing me again, and then I went to uh, um, back to my therapy, outpatient therapy. I said, all right, this is the last time, and this time, because the first couple times, I wasn't fully in. I wasn't fully in, and Um, I said wanted to, then I was like, I need to get sober. Really need to just get sober and not use anything. I was using, you know, things to calm anxiety and whatnot, and I didn't realize I was masking pain of other sufferings and whatnot. And my last diagnosis that I worked with the doctor to find out um, is that I actually have borderline, what's it called, DID, dissociative identity disorder. Um, and that's what my family was seeing the whole time. They're seeing different elements of me that I was experiencing and liking because I was able to change, how I interacted with people pretty quickly, and people really liked me and called me awesome, and I was like, wow. And this one guy asked me a question, you know, and he said, "Who are you and what do you want from this life?" I broke down crying. I was like, no one's ever asked me that before. And I said, you got to go. I need to sleep and even think about this. And I thought about it, and I realized that I love music a lot, really. Maybe a little too much sometimes. But the music really helps calm me. And, um, I just, didn't hear, there's a lot of bad music out there and whatnot, but, I got into listening to a lot of Selena Gomez, Ariana Grande, and those were uplifting music. Then other ones, Chainsmokers, 21 Pilots, Chicago. Shout out to Chicago. That's my dad's group. He used to get on stage and work backstage with them. Really cool. Been to a lot of Chicago concerts, but those are really the only concerts, except for one Kiss concert I went to. But I didn't expose myself to enough music, or the wrong type of music, and this stuff was uplifting, and it uplifted me, and I found myself. I found I was emotional, and it was okay with being emotional. It was okay to cry. There's no shame in that. And then I found myself while I was in Philadelphia, found myself at a gay bar just to hang out because these people were cool, like like they were all happy and whatnot. And I ended up kissing a guy there, and that kind of blew my mind. I never even thought about that. So, after a lot of self discovery and whatnot, I realized that I am bisexual, and I'm okay with that, and I'm okay with just being myself, whoever you are. You know, love love is beyond whatever you're going through. We're all unique. We're all different, and um, it changed me. And I never experienced love. I was scared of love because I've been hurt before, really hurt, and I don't know. I didn't trust anybody. That was my own problem. That was my own problem. That was because I've been hurt, because of the shit that happened to me in the past. I thought I couldn't trust anybody. Um, so slowly, I'm trusting people, I'm loving people. You know, I don't think there's anything wrong with um, casual sex, or, you know, it's my opinion, guys. And I've haven't, done it. I've been absent for a long time, for, probably almost 4 years now, because I didn't want to be hurt. I don't know what this means for the future, but um, I'm okay with my sexuality. I'm okay with who I am. And I, no judgment towards anyone. Whatever your beliefs are, whatever, um, whatever you identify with. And I hate labels just because it's too confusing to me. So um, bisexual is what I think I have to identify with. Um, but I'm finding myself. And I really did find myself. But one of the problems is one of my best friends, shout out to Steve, he was like, "Why do you keep saying you found yourself in Philly, found yourself in Philly?" And I was like, "You're right. That was just the location that I found and experienced life differently." And, um, and, but what I was missing the whole time is that I had family and friends, two main friends, Joe and Steve, who were ready to support me, but they didn't understand what was going on with me, and neither did I. This is just a few weeks ago that I really realized this, and they changed my diagnosis. But then it made sense. So I'm in a program now, being sober while I'm in this program, and you know, shout out to my brother Timmy who's overcome heroin addiction, and anything worse than I'm so proud of him, so proud of him. He's really helped me find God again, and I love him. I love all my family members. Shout out to Peter, for trying to be there. But he was a little dishonest with me too, because my family was talking behind my back. They were talking behind my back when I assumed they were all being upfront with me, but they didn't know how to deal with me, so I don't blame them for that. I just wish someone would have picked up the phone and called me and been like, "Dude, what are you doing? What are you doing?" They weren't understanding that I was experiencing life in a way I've never experienced it before. Dancing and seeing sights and taking pictures and and realizing that I'm an artist, and I love art, and art in all forms. And I plan to now, when I go back to ADP, I plan to work there. I got lots of plans. Hopefully we can do some awesome things there. Um, but I'm gonna work in duality. I'm gonna work on music on the side, nights, weekends, whatever. You know, I'm on a whatever you want to call it, a leave of absence right now to focus on myself. So I'm focusing on myself, and every day I'm getting stronger, feeling better, and understanding myself more. So I love you all for being there for me. I appreciate it. Um, I accept and love all of you for who you are, your unique selves. Um, and I know that I am accepted in my family now for whoever I am and whatever I'm doing. And they've got my back, and um, they're awesome. I didn't realize how awesome they were. So um, I think I'm gonna end this video. But just wanted to say shout out to all of you guys and whatnot. And I've got beautiful things. Oh, and Demi Lovato, her music beautiful. I did a karaoke to Skyscraper. Skyscraper really really helped me get strong again. Listening to her music, being confident. You know. Um, but I can do this solo, and I can do this on my own. Um, I'm no longer dependent on anyone. I found myself, and I'm good on myself. And I realized that meeting all these people in therapy we've got a lot of the same issues. I would have, you know, a year ago, if I heard you went to the psych ward, I would have called you a nut job. But I realize we've all got problems. We've all got masks that we wear to hide from insecurities and other things. But I'm working my ass off to get myself straight. To I already love myself. I love what I'm doing, believe me. I'm doing music, writing songs. I want to get a band together. I want to do some amazing things. We'll see. I want to get into acting. I want to do maybe some voiceovers. Yakko wacko and that. New things. I want to try out new whatever I want to have fun with, and I don't know what that is yet. So I'm taking one day at a time, and I'm taking it slow. Um, and I thank you all for your support and your love. Peace and God bless.